What's going on, you cartoon maniacs, and welcome back to the channel. Now, if you grew up in the late 90s or early 2000s, Cartoon Network was your sanctuary, a place of laughter, adventure, and endless summer days, right? Well, if you remember feeling a chill down your spine, or having to go to sleep with the light on after a particular episode, you weren't alone, because today we're tearing down the facade of the harmless fun and exposing the top 5 most disturbing cartoons ever to come out of Cartoon Network. This isn't just about weird or creepy, it's about the shows that devolved into body horror, psychological dread, and existential despair, and just plain visceral discomfort, all while masquerading as kid-friendly entertainment. We're talking about trauma fuel that truly pushed the boundaries, and trust me, by the end of this, you might never look at your childhood quite the same. Get ready, because we're about to get spooky. Let's dive into the nightmares. Kicking off our descent into Cartoon Network's darkest corners at number 5 is the show that made us casually comfortable with death itself, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Now, on the surface, this was a comedic show about two kids who befriended the Grim Reaper. Hilarious, right? But the sheer pervasive morbidness and grotesque imagination of this series was truly something else. Creator Maxwell Adams wasn't afraid to plunge us into genuinely unsettling scenarios, from the constant threat of eternal damnation in the underworld to encounters with demons, eldritch abominations, and literal monsters from our deepest fears. The show treated death and the supernatural with a casualness that was frankly disturbing for kids. Billy's rampant stupidity often led to terrifying consequences, but it was Mandy who truly instilled dread. Her sociopathic cunning, her unblinking stare, and her sheer cold malice made her more terrifying than any demon Grimm could summon. She embodied a chilling nihilistic power. The visuals were often grotesque, filled with bulging eyes, dripping slime, and unnerving character designs that leaned into the bizarre rather than the cute. It taught kids that the macabre was just a Saturday morning, and that's pretty messed up. At number 4, we have a show that didn't rely on monsters or gore, but created a deep, pervasive sense of unease through its premise. Ed, Edd n Eddy. You might be thinking, what? That's a classic comedy. But beneath the hilarious scams and sticky wads lies a profoundly disturbing truth about implied child neglect and psychological isolation. Creator Danny Antonucci famously decided to never show an adult's face in the entire series run. 6 seasons and 130 episodes, plus specials. We see shadows, hear voices, see glimpses of adult-sized objects, confirming they exist, but they were never present in the children's lives. This wasn't just a stylistic choice, it painted a picture of the cul-de-sac filled with unsupervised and orphaned desperate children. Eddie's obsessive pursuit of jawbreakers, hinting at unfulfilled hunger or desires. Double D's neurotic perfectionism and constant anxiety with no clear adult comfort, or Johnny's solitary existence with a plank of wood for a friend. All these behaviors can be read as coping mechanisms for a childhood devoid of proper guidance. Then there's the Kanker sisters, wild, unkempt, and predatory, a chilling embodiment of kids left entirely to their own devices. The sheer lack of accountability and supervision throughout their chaotic summers felt unsettlingly real, implying a world where these kids were left to raise themselves, for better or for terrifyingly worse. Slotted into our number 3 spot is a more recent but no less terrifying masterpiece, the miniseries Over the Garden. This wasn't just spooky, it's a deep dive into the atmospheric, existential, and folk horror that will leave you with a profound sense of dread. From the very first episode, the show establishes an overwhelming atmosphere of creeping dread. The unknown, a vast dark forest, is filled with unsettling figures and a pervasive sense of being lost and alone. The animation style, while beautiful, often leans into the grotesque with distorted characters and ominous shadow. The central antagonist, the Beast, is a pure embodiment of menace. His presence is rarely seen, mostly heard, a deep, resonant voice that promises a slow, terrifying assimilation into the forest itself. The concept of succumbing to despair and literally turning into a tree is truly a chilling fate. The show uses unsettling songs and a constant feeling of claustrophobia to create a world where every step deeper into the woods brings a new subtle horror. It's a brilliant, slow burn of fear that's perfect for a spooky autumn night, but might make you weary of stepping outside alone. At number 2, prepare for a show that redefines grossed out into pure, unsettling disgust and body horror. The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. This cartoon about a boy, his whale, and a candy-obsessed pirate was a fever dream of visual and auditory discomfort. Flapjack didn't just hit at disturbing visuals, it reveled in them. Characters were often depicted with greasy skin, rotten teeth, open sores, and unsettling deformity. Their entire setting of Stormalong Harbor felt perpetually damp, grim, and putrid. The show's creator, Throp Van Orman, has cited the intentional aim for a more grotesque, almost disturbing aesthetic. Beyond the visual horror, the shows frequently dabbled in body horror that will make adults squirm. Characters will melt, mutate, or suffer grotesque physical ailments from eating too much candy. Captain Knuckles, Utter selfishness and constant lying also contributed to a pervasive sense of moral decay. The sheer unpleasantness of his world, combined with his bizarre, often nonsensical logic, created a uniquely unsettling viewing experience that left you feeling a bit nauseated and deeply disturbed by the sheer squalor and grotesque nature of his character. And finally, at number 1, the undisputed champion, the heavyweight title holder, the Grand Master of Terror and Children's Television, Courage the Cowardly Dog. If you grew up with this show, you know it had to be number 1. This wasn't just a cartoon. It was a psychological experiment designed to scar a generation. Creator John R. Dilworth understood horror on a fundamental level. Courage leveraged every single type of fear imaginable. The world of nowhere was completely unpredictable, blurring the lines between reality and nightmare. Anything, no matter how benign, could become a grotesque threat. Characters like Freaky Fred, with his unnerving grin and rhyming whispers about being naughty, didn't need to physically harm you to instill deep discomfort. He was a master at violating personal space and psychological boundaries. The transformations were visceral, Muriel becoming a wormhole, the monstrous Big Toe emerging from Eustace, and the various characters melting and mutating. They were genuinely nauseating and shocking for a kid's show. King Ramsay's infamous CGI appearance was groundbreaking in its ability to disturb. His unnatural movements and unsettling vacant stare, combined with his booming distorted chant, "Return the slab or suffer my curse," sent shivers down spines like nothing else. The family's complete isolation in the middle of nowhere, constantly besieged by inexplicable threats, created a pervasive sense of helplessness and vulnerability. Courage's constant, unawarded bravery against forces way beyond his understanding was heartbreaking and terrifying. While less common in atmosphere, the show knew how to deliver truly shocking and effective jump scares when they least expected. Every episode felt like a miniature horror film, often with little resolution, leaving a lingering sense of dread. Courage the Cowardly Dog didn't just skirt the lines of what was acceptable for kids, it obliterated them, creating a truly unique and utterly terrifying legacy that still holds up as the most disturbing cartoon ever aired on Cartoon Network. So there you have it, Cartoon Maniacs, the definitive, unsettling truth about the top 5 most disturbing cartoons from Cartoon Network. These shows prove that you don't need gore to create a lasting fear, and that some of the most profound psychological discomfort can come from a seemingly innocent screen. Do you agree with my rankings? Which of these shows still haunts your nightmares, or is there another Cartoon Network creation that you found truly unsettling? Let me know in the comments below. If you braved this deep dive into the animated terror, and be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more explorations of the bizarre and fascinating side of cartoons, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss my next video. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the scariest things are in the cartoons you least suspect.